All right, let's kick off this scrying discussion by talking about intention. As a priestess, as a witch, intention is our number one tool. It's the primary tool. It's the tool. It's everything. We don't have to have any other technologies of scrying or ceremony or whatever if we have intention. Intention is just the first and foremost. It's going to set the groundwork for everything. Like, everything else is layered on top of intention. If we live intentional lives and we're setting intentions daily and we're setting intentions yearly, monthly, we're setting intentions for each part of our transition of our day. There's nothing more powerful and foolproof than that. So we want to, of course, have a really strong intention when we're doing any type of divinatory work. The intention for this scrying, so generally with scrying, you can have any intention. So you can, if you really you want to know about, you have a big work project, or you want to decide if you're going to have a child, or some big decision like that, you can totally just be really clear about your intention. What do I need to know is a great way to say it. So the way of framing your intention would be the same as with oracle cards. So we don't ask an oracle card should I go on vacation to Costa Rica, or should I start having a child this month? That's a little specific for an oracle card. It would be more what do I need to know about my timing for having a child, right? That would be a better question for an oracle card. So it's the same for any type of divination. Of course, oracle cards are divination. So with scrying, you want to set the intention, what do I need to know about? And so that you're allowing some spaciousness and you're allowing the full breadth of your unconscious mind and the collective consciousness to work in ways that you can't predict. Because when we get really, 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 really specific, it can get a little tricky, because often in the specificity of the intention, we're often already manifesting our ego's workings. We're already framing it in this way of we already know what's best, and we don't even realize we're doing it sometimes. So it's always helpful to frame it as, what do I need to know about? In this case of this particular ritual at Samhain, we are asking to know about what is our ancestral purpose in this lifetime. And this is probably a really broad thing, so it probably doesn't have one answer, right? Another way to say this is really how can I manifest my purpose? That's another way to say it. And we know that our purpose is not, we'll say it again and again, our purpose is not an action. Your purpose is not to do something, to create an organization, to create a certain family or whatever. Your purpose is a vibration. It's an energetic frequency, and it is the vibration of our deepest presence. It is the vibration of our blueprint. It is the vibration of why we are here. So all of the work we do is really getting closer and closer to embodying that blueprint. So this is an opportunity to call on the support of our ancestors, that they can really deliver us information to, sorry, my armpit, I wore a black sweater, so I got some weird shit going on my armpit. It's a little intermission in our intuition video. But so we want to call on our ancestors because we're a part of that long stream, and we want to invite them to guide us about how we're continuing their work in this lifetime. And towards that end, we can also call on our descendants, because they know, they have a bigger picture vision of why we existed at all. And so as you set the circle for your scrying, so you want to call in the circle, you want to have your scrying bowl in the middle. We'll talk about this more in the next video. You want to have your 2 candles. You can light the candles, scrying bowl in the middle. You're going to have your pot on the stove. You're going to have your ingredients laid out. You're going to have, we want to have our tea. So you want to have any kind of tea, and you could even be drinking that tea hours before you're scrying and just continue it. So the tea is going to be those divinatory herbs. So it's herbs that invite us into the dream time. Of course, these include blue lotus, rosemary for remembrance, right? Sage, mugwort, and lemon balm, lavender, chamomile, anything that's a good dreaming or relaxing herb is going to be really helpful here to open up the pathways of seeing beyond the 3D. And then we're going to call in our circle. You're going to call in allies, known and unknown, and then you are going to really specifically call on the ancestors behind you, call on the descendants in front of you, say a prayer, ask them that they might support you in your intention to understand your ancestral purpose in this lifetime. And it's such a beautiful intention because it really is like so big. It's like, in many ways, just resting more, like, will probably be a huge part of that. So like there's lots of things that can come out of this. And also you may get some really, really specific information. If you want to hone this intention a little more, like if you're like, okay, I'm pretty clear that I'm clear that part of my purpose is in teaching young children, and like I'm already doing that. So I want to know, in relation to this part of my purpose, like I want to know what's the next step for me to serve my ancestors in this intention. So you could speak that really clearly. Now we'll get on to the actual recipe and what to do.